Hello and welcome to Interworldly News, today's leading source in Formic news. Today I'm joined by Dr. Joseph Veltri, who will be speaking to me about the ethics and morality of our possible third war with the Formics. He tends to lean more towards the morality of humans in this hypothetical war, which is why we, in typical Interworldly News unbiased fashion, bring in specialist Michael Tice, who believes that the Formics are just misunderstood, even though it might be in the morally black. We will be keeping them separate to maintain order because they both are known to get very intense. Of course, we will be following the morals of the Catholic Church, who we deem to be the most justifiable beliefs through their apologetics. A quick review for those of you who have been living under a rock. I'll give a quick review of the wars. The Formics originally invaded us, slaughtering millions until we defeated them. They again invaded with the intention of establishing a colony many years later, and human casualty was much higher. Mesorakum luckily destroyed them, and again we were saved. Now many think there is an inevitable war. The consensus is that it will be fought there, and that the fleet has already been launched, hidden from the public. This is history being made, and we have the luxury of living at a turning point of civilization, and knowing we are currently in the cogs of change. Now, I'm happy to introduce you Dr. Joseph Veltri.
Hello, Zach. Thank you for having me. I've been eager to discuss the morality of the impending war.
You say impending. Is this just a slip of diction, or do you mean more by this?
Absolutely. I think that there is just cause. I believe that 2 invasions is enough. That they will continue to come until man is destroyed. I believe in the theory of the counter-invasions, and I believe it's justified. They tried to destroy man, and I believe that man is constantly threatened by just the existence of the buggers. Admiral Shamjraj Nagar definitely has the authority to launch that fleet as well. He's head of the Strategos, making him one of the top authorities on the matter.
Do you believe we are on the right side of this dispute?
Without a doubt.
Are we doing this for the right reasons? Have we tried everything else?
I think us trying to protect our home of Earth more than justifies this war. I think our intention is to protect our home through a counterstrike, and we have tried to communicate with them. Leaked intelligence from Command says that when we fought in some of their outposts, any attempt of communication is met with nothingness.
All of that is fantastic, but can we win? That's the question, and at what cost?
I think we can win. If we have learned anything from the Formics, it is to replicate their technologies, and if we can incorporate them into our own, then I think we have the upper hand, as well as an element of surprise. And I believe that the cost is entirely worthwhile. We're protecting our entire race from theirs, and given a choice, I'll root for mine any day.
Thank you, Joseph. Those are all the questions we have for you today. Thank you. Now to introduce specialist Michael Tice. Michael.
Hello, thank you for having me.
Fantastic. Let's jump right into it. Is this war, does it have a just cause?
I think so. If humans are waging war upon them, then I believe that as another sentient species, they have every right to defend themselves.
Would you say they have good leadership? Are they right in this war?
We know so little about the structure of their society, but I'd imagine a race of that level of advancement has good leadership. I'm not going to say that they're right, but it's over 40 years since the last invasion. I'd say that they no longer are seeking war, meaning that they are defenders. I'd say that they are generally right because they are non-aggressors.
That's very interesting, but can they try anything else, maybe?
No, I'm a little offended by that question. They're being attacked while being peaceful. I think the only way to stop us from invading is to fight back.
Can they win? Is it worth it for them to fight?
Of course they can win. They fought us twice and lost twice, but that was in our home territory. I think they have the advantage on their side of the universe, and of course, it's worth fighting. When someone's liberty and way of life is being trampled, it becomes impossible to say that it isn't worth it. Just look to history. Anytime someone has been attacked and it threatens their way of life, they retaliate with full force.
Thank you. That's all the questions we have for you today. And thank you for watching Interworldly News. Good night. Hello and welcome to Interworldly News. Today we'll be talking about the war with the Formics. It was called right, folks. It is on their territory now, and we're pushing it hard. I'm met again by specialist Michael Tice, former Formic advocate, and Joseph Veltri, humans, man. Of course, as usual, we will be following the just war theory and keeping the advocates separate in order to avoid conflict. Now I'd like to introduce specialist Michael Tice. Good evening, Michael.
Hello. It's good to be here again.
Glad to have you back. Let's jump into it. Do you believe that the Formics are fighting back in a just manner, not simply trying to overwhelm the humans by sheer numbers?
Of course. I think when an all-out invasion is thrown onto them, they'd have every reason to try and defend themselves.
And are they attacking indiscriminately?
Well, of course, and on their side of the cosmos, it's very difficult to have any civilian casualties. However, when they were here, they did kill millions, so this is war. Maybe there's times when I would claim otherwise.
Thank you, Michael. Again, it's been a pleasure to have you. And now reintroducing Dr. Veltri.
Again, thank you for having me. It's a pleasure being here.
You know us, no funny business. So, Doctor, do you believe this is a just force?
I'm not too sure. If we could guarantee that they were going to attack us, maybe. But I'm not sure if this can be justified at all since we initiated it.
And is it being done in a manner that's indiscriminate?
I believe so, but I'm not going to dedicate myself to an answer. It's a very dangerous game when we play. It's a very dangerous game we play when there's talk floating around that we're going to use the little doctor on their planet.
Absolutely, that's a very good point. And for those of our viewers who do not know, the little doctor is a super weapon that destroys all matter it touches. It creates a shockwave that kind of echoes out, and if it touches more matter, it'll destroy that on top of it. So, it's a very dangerous weapon, and people are questioning the morality of it. That's all we have for tonight. Thank you for watching Interworldly News. Welcome back once again. Today is a day of celebration, as we've officially defeated the Formics as the effort of the Boy Ender. However triumphant we are, we must remember our moral responsibility, as described by the Just War theory. We're going back to our experts, Joseph and Michael, who I'm glad to have here. Welcome back, Dr. Veltri.
Thank you for having me on such a special day.
Right into it, I'm afraid. So, were the rights of the oppressed returned to them?
Yes, I believe so. I think that we were threatened, and now, without that burden, we are truly freed. I think now is a time for us to reflect on what we've done and try to reconcile with our actions. I believe this was a just war, but I also believe that taking a life is taking a life.
And do you believe that we are taking some way of improving their lives or turning them to civilization?
It's hard to restore a civilization that has been obliterated to dust.
A very good point. Thank you for your time. Welcome, Michael Tice. Welcome.
Hello, thank you for having me again. I'm sorry it's under such circumstances.
It was us with them. Which reminds me to ask you, what do you think of the rights of the oppressed? Have they been returned?
I just believe that humans won. I don't think there was an oppressed.
Your counter, Dr. Veltri, mentions that you would like to see some reconciliation. Would you?
I think after obliterating a species that we should beg for forgiveness.
And do you think that we made efforts to return them to their previous status?
No. They're gone. Regarding war, I believe that humans were entirely unjust in their actions. It seems that they violate every post-war principle. Rights were not returned to the oppressed. There were no oppressed in the first place. There was only a species that looked to live in the universe with us. We didn't return their rights. We removed them. And instead of reflecting and seeking forgiveness, or even trying to restore them, we celebrate the man who extinguished their entire species. No one has tried any way of returning them to their previous status. There has been no restoration or reflection. We have waged an unjust war, and will pay the price.
Thank you again, Michael. You've been invaluable to us.
It's my pleasure.
So I think from all of us at Interworldly News that I can say fully that we believe this is an unjust war. We went into a war when we had no cause to. We were the aggressors, and a preemptive strike we just can't seem to justify. During the war, I think we all played by the rules of war, but at the end of war, we completely obliterated species. We didn't return rights to anyone, and we, as a species, we didn't rebuild a society to its previous value. We destroyed an entire race. So I think from all of us in Interworldly News, we decided that this is an unjust war.